Hello, my name is Francesca. I'm making a series of videos about Qigong and Taoist inner alchemy, and this video in particular is an introductory videos about the theory of the 5 elements in Taoism. A very short theory, okay? There is much more to learn. If you want, you can find plenty of sources about this. But you'll need to know something if you want to go on with some of the meditations. Okay? So, for as much as is my little understanding of Taoist tradition, there is the energy of creation in the universe that is always manifesting itself. And it's always there. It wasn't created once and then poof, let go mechanically. It's always happening. This process is always happening. And it's happening in many ways. And it is mirrored in many ways. So there's an infinite possibility of finding these processes into our body, into ourself, into our relationship, into the coincidence in our life, and so on. Impossible to list all of them, of course. And it's beautiful to see them developing into us and around us. But the main idea, as far as I understand, my understanding of it, which is not necessarily the canonical one, is that there is an infinite, a wu wei, infinite source, infinite possibilities, not manifested. They're not infinite objects that someone picks up out from his magical hat. It's really not formed, it's unformed. Okay? But in somehow love and desire, give a container for this energy to manifest. And it manifests always as yin-yang, heaven and earth, polarities, because there need a space. Polarities, anytime there is polarities, there is a space in between, the space for the infinite possibility to manifest. And we do some meditation to find us into this space, recognize this space, create this space, contribute to the energy that is in this space. We also do meditation to balance the energies. And the Chinese people decided to see the world divided in 5 elements. And once you decide something, this is also happening. Okay? The Chinese alchemy tradition goes with 5 elements, not 4. There is really no reason to question, well, but the Western alchemy say 4, they say 5. Who's right? Wrong question. No, there is nothing. No one is right. We need to have containers to understand and to manifest the universe. If we accept these containers, we shape the energies into these containers. The Chinese people decided for 5 elements related to the universe and that relate to themselves, to each other. They decided to call them with the name of the energy, with the name of the elements, because the elements have property of this energy. Let's say that we start with water. Direction north, because it's cold, and it's a direction where much water comes from in many countries. Okay, at least on this side of the hemisphere. And north, water, the energy of the unknown, powerful, yin, beautiful energy. Not knowing. The water takes the form and the shape of everything, so it's not known what they will become. The water are the birthplace of every life on earth, almost. All life, so water for life. Unformed life. Water for strength. There is very few elements, no elements that are strong as water. water for patience, the famous drop of water that carved the rock. Water for will, same idea. Water for trust, because you need to trust the water to be in the water, to float with it. Water for fear, because there is unknown. Water in our body for the kidneys, which are the organs that most of all deal with the balance of water in our body. By the way, if we feel afraid, we pee. Now, oops, I was so afraid that I pee. Water and kidneys connected with the tissue of the bones, they rule really our minerals in our body. If you have kidney problems, you can have very much problems with your joints or other bone problems. Water for the sense of hearing. Kidneys are the same size and shape of our ears, and the hearing is the sense that connects the most with trust, with listening, with being open to. I will describe you a cycle. I'm going to tell the elements in an order, and this order is called the creative cycle because each element gives birth to another. Water for the energy that gather in some place. Water gather in the smaller and lower places. Then comes the energy of wood, growth. From water, plants grow, and all life. We take wood, date of wood, as an example of life growing. The element of wood, growing, flexible, playful, joyful with the air, with the sun, connecting earth and heaven, expanding. By the way, if you were in China in one of the tropical or subtropical region there, I assure you, you can actually cut a piece of a plant, and the morning after you can see with your eye that it did regrow. So really growing fast. Okay. Wood for the organ liver, because contain bile, which is also greenish, because it's the only organ in our body that regrow actually if cutted. Thank God for everyone that actually have had liver problems or excessive drinking. Not every hope is lost, but please stop to drink. Playfulness. This organ is the biggest organ we have, and when we grow up, when we are kids, in proportion, is 3 times bigger, as I'm told, is 3 times bigger than how it is in an adult. Okay? It's really the energy of a kid playing around. Sometimes too much, sometimes bubble out too much and become rage, opposite of playfulness. Impatience, excess of heat growing out. The organ connected to it is the organ in which with our body we receive mostly the light, which are our eyes. And the tissue connected with are our tendons, which give us flexibilities and strength. Again, from wood, so we are born in the water, we are growing up, then the energy, this is also a cycle of energy. First, the beginning, in this little, in the center, small, then it starts to grow. Then it comes in a period in which it seems that growth can reach everywhere. We are so happy and so expanding that our energy can embrace everything. It is the energy of fire. The wood burn, Okay? The energy of fire, this is a fire that, at the moment at least, is not a fire that hurt. It's a fire that embraces everything. A fire like the sun that gives life to everything. A fire that has no limit. Is the big yang, also an unlimited energy. Embrace everything, love everything, want to connect with everything. The fire expands everywhere like love, embrace everything like love. It's connected with the energy of our heart, which is, I think it's the only organ that in all tradition is always connected with fire and love. Every tradition known to me on earth connect this organ to this energy. The energy of love wants to give life, and sometimes it's a little bit too much. It takes too much on itself. If it doesn't understand, if there is a lack of understanding, it burns too much. It's said in the Taoist tradition that when fire goes too much high and water goes too much down, and they separate completely, our life is finished. There is no more anymore that space in between that needs to be. The fire should sustain the water. Our love should give as at the beginning I said, the shape for the energy to manifest, for the water to manifest. As far as I understand, this is one of the meanings of meditation called, in Taoist tradition, the Kan and Li, the water and fire meditation, or the heaven and earth, or heaven and human being meditation. My little understanding, definitely there could be other interpretations. Well, once our fire has expanded and has not turned bitter by refusal or other accident that can happen on the way, in which case it's possible to balance the energy and to help them anyway. What happened? Something got burned, give life, give heat, and then we have ashes or earth, the earth energy. We say that the fire wants to serve as the earth wants to serve. This is well used. The fire become earth energy. It put itself into the position of serving, of nourishing, also of putting your feet on the ground and sustaining life. That's the energy of the earth. And in our body is connected with the organ of spleen, pancreas, and stomach. as heart was connected also with the small intestine and with the tissue of blood. Kind of obvious reason. So, returning to the spleen, pancreas, and stomach, they all have functions of whatever. Sorry, my accent. This is definitely not my first language. I hope you understand what I meant. So, giving sustainment and food to the rest of our body. The spleen is also protecting our body because it's one of the main organ of the lymphatic system, which helps with the immunitary system. And when we are not centered, comes anxiety, for example, the reason not to be connected with the earth, not trusting that there will be help. Also from outside us. The sensation of having your solar plexus clogged up before, for example, a test or something that is difficult for you, try to doing some rooting will help. So the fire produce ashes, generate the earth, and from the earth we extract the fifth element, the metal. The metal represent the energy that we shape. We not only give a clue with our desire and we sustain this, but we also give an intention. An intention and a will that penetrate. The earth is fluid and in fact is connected with the will, which is also water. And this is called the energy of the little yin in our body. What you do when you want to have clarity? Let me go out and take a fresh breath of air. And that's the energy of the lungs and large intestine. And the tissue correspondent is the skin, because we breathe through the skin, so much that if we burn more than a certain percentage of skin on our body, we die of asphyxiation. Okay? And the energy of clarity, of penetrating, of going deeper. That's the energy of, my daughter just returned, that's the energy of lungs and of metal. And it's the last energy in this cycle, because we started the cycle from the water, and we can melt the metal back into liquid form, which is connected with water. And it's the clarity of letting go of whatever we had done, of whatever is the energy that forms something, will shape in something else, will lose its shape one day, and will return to be in the cycle. And this is the creative cycle for the organs. And when we are going to do many meditation or Qigongs, we frequently use this cycle. There is also another cycle, which I'm going to say now quickly, because I say the property of each organ and energy. And again, this is a very short presentation. The best things to familiarize with this is to practice especially the inner smile, and to feel this energy and other attribute that this energy may have into your own bodies, into your own self and into your own life. However, there are meditations in the tradition, I know most of them goes under the name of fusion of the 5 elements. Why? Because we use the property of the organs to help each other, not in the creative cycle, but in a cycle in which one organ mitigates the energy of the other organ. For example, the water and the fire are opposite elements, and they help each other. The water gives thrust to the fire and cool it down, and the fire sustains the water, helps the kidneys, the water energy to open. Okay? And the wood, the liver, and the metal elements are opposite to each other. As a metaphor, the wood cut, the metal cut the wood. And the wood hold the earth and the metal. But more, how we can do? If there is too much energy, too much going out, too much anger, see things with clarity. Breathe, calm down. This is something most of us have heard at least once in our life. Okay? And if it's not anger, even just having tons of things to do, having a rushing life, breathe, calm down. On the other side, the energy of justice, which is also the energy of clarity, should be mitigated. And the energy of strong will should be mitigated by playfulness. Take it easy. Be playful, be flexible. Move out of your way, sometimes not necessary, they may work, but there could be other ways too. The energy of playfulness and of the wood. Whoops, we say only 4 energy, where is the 5th one? In this case we left out the earth. Where the earth is the energy that balances in between all of them. In this case, every energy balances the energy of the earth, and the energy of the earth balance and help everything else. And again, this could be vague this way, but if we practice some meditations and some Qigong, this will become somehow easier to understand and to feel. And once again, this is not the only way to shape our worlds, but it's one way and worked pretty well for many people, in many generations, in many years. So looking forward for meeting you in the inner alchemy and in the meditations and in the Qigong that use these energies and that dance with these energies. A big hug to you. Have good practice.